And again. Hello, beautiful people of the world. This is Dalton, Coach of Race State Boxing. Welcome to our podcast, To the Bell. I'm here with my guest and lifelong friend, Gustavo.
Yes,
We
sir.
got a couple things to go over. We got the fight we're going to talk about that happened Saturday between Gervonta Davis and Ron Garcia. Also, make sure to stay at the end, and we're going to be doing the drawing for the hat that we talked about in the podcast before. So make sure you guys stick around for that, and we can see who won the free hat and all that good stuff. So we'll go right into it. The first fight we had was Kevin Salgado
Salgado, yeah.
versus Elijah Garcia.
Yeah.
So we can kind of go back to that. We talking about that fight. Anything really
Oh
stick
man,
out?
as soon as of course we always have this thing like, who you going for, Gus?
You already
And I'll
know.
be like, I'm going with Kevin. No, I'm going with some guy, whatever. And then they say
Yeah.
Kevin. I said, oh, he's gonna lose. I was like, oh man, he's gonna lose. And I loved it though. He started so like aggressive, but then his gas tank went
Yeah,
down.
man, and
Man,
you know what I like to do for fun games when I'm playing as a coach and watching a fight is I think what would I tell that fighter, right? Like I try to, of course, I have the ones I'm rooting for, and then the other ones that are I'm not really like going with. I'm just like, man, what would I tell them if I was in the corner? And dude, I mean, he started off, I mean, fantastic, man. He's doing good combos, landing big power shots. I mean, they were going at it, and especially on the inside. I remember they're going at it on the
yeah.
inside. And just that gas tank, man. I feel like it was round 4 or 5. Yeah, I had it. So I took notes talking about it, fatiguing in the fourth and fifth round, and then Garcia started to press. And I noticed that instantly, man. Like he was doing good. It took a couple rounds for Garcia to kind of get into that
The
rhythm.
groove.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And make sure you guys are talking about Elijah Garcia, not Ryan Garcia, right? This is the first fight for the main event or for the main card. And I mean Elijah, I like that he was able to stay composed during the fight. Like he never once got
Got scared or anything. He was just like, okay, I need to wait, I need to
Mhm.
wait. And then once he knew that he didn't have no gas, that's when he started like,
What I thought was really cool, and they mentioned in the fight that he's never went past the 6th round. Garcia.
For real.
I remember they were like, this is the first time if he goes past 6 that he's ever gone this far in his career.
So he always usually knock him out.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
he's
what's
never went
up.
past the 6, and man, I mean he done phenomenal. He was a southpaw. I mean he was able to stay composed, and I remember like round 6 all the way through the fight, man, he was able to kind of bounce around, stay on his feet, stick and move, and he was doing a really good job, man. And I just wish Kevin would have threw a little bit more shots at the end. I could just tell he's getting
He was
gassed,
gassed
man.
out.
Getting gassed.
That's me though. I mean, if I go in there, I'm just gonna throw first round. My
Oh
throw
man,
out.
I can't even say this. The next fight was Gabriel Rosado and then Bektamir. I can't even say his name. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. But they fought back in 2021, and Gabriel Rosado knocked him
That was
out.
the rematch,
Yeah,
right? That was the rematch. Yeah.
and he got knockout of the year that fight.
Yes.
And he was losing, and he got knockout of the year.
Yes, because old dude that got knocked out, he was scared, wasn't he? He was like, he was kind of scared.
Yeah, I mean, like the beginning rounds, he was kind of like skittish. Like
Mm-hmm.
you could tell that he didn't want to get knocked out again.
Yeah.
And he was able to come back. I noticed that all the judges down, like the unofficial scorecard, only had him winning 1 round.
Dang.
So I
He
mean,
was too scared. I mean, I think he didn't want to get knocked out again. But I mean, that kind of hurt him. That hurt him from being kind of too protective. He should have went in there and be like,
what I noticed too early is that Gabriel Rosado, like the first fight they had back in 2021, was he was constantly retreating and he was going like he was on his back foot a lot, and he lands a fight against the ropes. He catches him, knocks him out, and there's a couple of times on the fight that he kept doing it. The only problem was in the middle of doing that, he was eating too many
too
punches,
many punches.
and he wasn't able to get that right hand off to knock him out. But man, I mean, huge props to Gabriel Rosado. I mean,
Oh
he's a
yeah.
warrior, man. I mean, he fights the big names. I mean, he don't duck or dodge anybody. I mean, he fought Gennady a while back, man, and it was a bloody mess. Gennady was the better man that night, and you could see it. I mean, Gennady's face was bad on that. We'll go right on down the list. Was it Yamaguchi?
Yamaguchi from Brazil.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
David Morrell.
From Cuba.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brazilian and the
And
Cubans.
Cuban.
And I'm not gonna lie, man, I was actually rooting for
For the
Yamaguchi.
for
Yeah.
the Brazilian. Yeah.
I was like, man, this is gonna be a beautiful fight. And he walked out, showed his record 24-1-1. And then David was 8-0, 7 KOs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, it's gonna be a good fight. I was telling you about it. Senna, a fighter from Nashville, was supposed to fight David, and I don't know the whole story. I seen he made a post on Instagram, and the fights kind of fell off. But dude, first round knockout,
Yeah.
and just like
Yeah.
how his trunks were awareness for autism.
Autism. That was so nice. Even the vest. the little jacket thing had some
The puzzle
the
pieces.
puzzle pieces, and that was just so clean. I was like, I respect that. I was like, man, that's what's up. Like, I'm glad. I mean, either I enjoyed the fight or whatever. But I'm glad he won because at
Yeah.
least what I'm saying he deserved it. I think he deserved it. I mean, some other people think that
Do
he
you
didn't
remember
deserve
what
it.
he did after he won?
He started thinking. He started, like,
He called somebody out. Do you remember?
yes,
David Benavidez.
David, yeah.
Called out David.
And they could. I'm sorry.
No,
I
you
don't know
good.
if you heard me. They were like, "Where you at, David? Where you at, David?"
I feel like he was
And
in the
then
bathroom.
and nobody, no, the camera couldn't find him. You heard my comment? What I said?
What he
I
said?
said, "Man, he's probably in the bathroom doing cocaine."
Shots fired, right? He used to get busted for cocaine.
I was like, man.
I mean, I was telling the guys, I was making a joke. I said, man, imagine if he's in the bathroom and he comes out and like, yo, when you missed it, they done called you out from everybody. And,
Adam knows and
yeah,
everything.
yeah, you look like you dunked him, man. Called you out, you was nowhere to be seen, man. Instead of running. Man,
Would you think it would happen?
honestly, dude, David wants that Canelo fight. David, it's so funny how that works, man. David wants Canelo. Canelo wants Bivol. So I mean, they're gonna have to work around it. If it happens, it'll be like next year or something. It won't be this year. I guarantee it won't. If it does, I'll be surprised. I don't think it will be. I think it'll be probably.
So David ain't gonna fight the problem.
I think the next big fight will either be like Canelo will fight John Ryder, and then after that he'll end up fighting he'll probably fight Benavidez or Bivol because he wants the belts. But I saw an interview. Bivol said he wants Canelo 168, and that's where Canelo is undisputed. So he has the belts he has some of the belts or one of the belts at light heavyweight. If he beats Canelo, he'd have all the belts at 168 super middleweight.
God.
So he beat up Canelo at light heavyweight, and then he'd come down to middleweight or come down to super middleweight, beat him up, and take his belts. I think that'd be like the worst nightmare for Canelo because he worked so hard to get all those belts last year. Yeah, I mean he was cleaning the ring.
Yeah, he was.
Now the main event: Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta.
Man,
I'm gonna go. I know I can tell you upset. You're already doing the man shaking the head.
No, I'm just.
I don't want us to get too far. I'm gonna go straight into it. Right, we're gonna go like frame by frame. Right, so they start warming up. They're both warming up on the punch shield, and it's funny we were literally working on that.
Yes.
All last week during class, working on like the punch shield and using our shoulders and our hips to line up the big punches. Ryan walks out first. What'd you think about the ring walk?
I was rooting for him. Even though last time I said I was rooting for Devontae or whatever. I was rooting. Then of course I like arguing with you, so
he got switched up last minute.
Yeah, last minute. Man, this man come with that dang music. I was like, man, he's gonna lose. You might as well go ahead and throw in the towel.
I don't even know the name of that song, but it's not a very hype up song. It's sad.
It is.
And it's like, he talks about God a lot in his religion. I think it's cool that he's, he's kind of shouting that out. I don't know if it's a song to get you hyped up though for a fight. See, I'm not saying that you should walk out. It's bad to walk out to that. I'm just saying, do that. Like maybe afterwards.
Yes.
But I mean, it was a cool ring walk. I like that thing he had on too. What was that? It was like a robe, but it was like shiny black.
Shiny black, and then the commentator said something. The Mexican.
There was a line on his chest, I believe it was.
It said something about a Mexican shield or whatever.
Showing it, yeah.
Showing them, but I mean, like that's nothing. Like they ain't no Mexican about that.
Didn't somebody ask you the night of the fight was like, Gus, what's that mean? And you was like, that ain't got nothing to do.
They gotta do. I mean, I didn't think. I mean, if you gotta represent Mexico, but besides that, I thought he was gonna come with either with a mariachi or with a Mexican singer, something to represent us a little bit.
The whole, I see where you're coming from because the whole build up to the fight.
Yes.
He kept saying, I am Hispanic.
I fight for
yes. I have the Mexican blood in me. I'm fighting for them. So I can see that.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, if he does that, I'm gonna be hype. I'm gonna be stupid hype. I'm like, heck yeah, woo this, woo that. He came with that song. I was like, man, yeah, I should have.
Well, there's a reason why the Vikings would come out with, hollering and screaming before battle, or
to get themselves
to get the hype up.
Wars, people scream and holler as they're running into battles because they got to get that hype.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to war.
Yes. And he was.
No.
All he was doing. I'm gonna collect that check. that's all he was thinking about.
Yeah, I was like, kind of like, what? And on the other side, Gervonta Davis walked out with Chief Keef.
Oh man.
It was wild, wasn't it?
Wasn't it though?
And I remember as soon as it happened, your automatic reaction was like, "Oh, he gonna win. He gonna
It's
win.
over.
Yeah, he gonna win."
It's
And
over.
it came out walking the salsa, dude.
Oh man.
Oh
Oh
man.
yeah.
Caleb showed me a video of Chief Keef a while back, like 2013 or 14. Did you see that street fight he got in? You ever seen it?
I
No.
don't think so. No.
Y'all get bored, watch that. He grabs a dude, puts him in a chokehold, picks him up off the ground, and slams him, and it's by a bus. And like, I guess that's why they say, Chief Keef don't play that. I mean, he don't. He literally picked him up off the ground, had his feet in the air, and like threw him on his back. It was wild. So what you think about that ring block? It looked good or what?
Oh yeah.
Do you see how straight face he was?
Straight face, like nothing.
Oh,
But
man.
that was through a whole bull crap of them talking smack. Who was just like whatever.
And we talked about
Yeah.
it. And I remember in the podcast, I was like, man, I give Ryan props like how he talks that smack. I said, but that don't win fights. When it comes down to it, when you're in there and doing the fight, it ain't got nothing to do with that. You can't really talk smack when you're in the fight. I say that, but at the same time, they were talking smack in the middle of the fight. I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Right into it, first round. Not a whole lot really happened. Right?
I was like, I was like, Dave,
Gervonta Davis.
yeah, he wasn't doing nothing, and I was like, why ain't he doing that? Because this is the funny thing about it, this is the first fight I seen him fought.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. And I was like, man, why ain't he doing nothing? I thought he had power. I thought he got all this. In the second round,
Ryan comes out
swinging like for the fences. I was like, oh crap!
And I said it. I was man, he went from 0 to 100 real quick. Because he started off, and I know why. They both know and they both respect it that they both have power shots. Like they both know, okay, he's got knockout power. But that second round, man, he came swinging, dude.
For fences.
Come swinging, and then
I see Devontae go. Boop, and then he went. Boop.
Yeah,
like,
he done the same exact thing. So a lot of the guys he fights, man, like I don't know why their game plan is we're gonna just rush them, and they do it, and it never works. Rolly Romero done the same thing against him in his last fight. We talked about it, and we actually have a short of like the clip we talked about. How Rolly comes in, he goes off the side,
and just knock him out,
and then takes an angle. A lot of the guys he fights, he catches them when they rush him. When they rush in, they catch him. That's what they done with
He's a very smart fighter,
Yeah, he picks almost every shot. And they asked him, they're like, man, what about that fight? And he goes, well, I know that when he throws that punch, he drops his right hand, and he did. He went to throw the hook, and he kept trying to throw the hook, and he came underneath.
He came underneath the titty, like right here. Then it seemed like he was just ducking in like this. Then he just went right there, right here in the.
Dude, the whole audience went wild.
Yeah.
So did we.
Yeah.
Even us watching, we're like, oh my god.
The second knockout. I didn't even see it how it happened. I was like, what happened? Like, why is he like? What happened?
So then, like that happens, and then like the couple rounds go on. Nothing crazy happens. A little back and forth. What I noticed from the first round, later on in the rounds, is Ryan just abandons his jab, and it's odd for me because as a taller fighter, your jab is your best punch, right? That's gonna keep that guy off of you. And he started off doing really good. He was throwing his jab, and he was landing his right hand behind his jab. He was using the jab to set it up prone in the jab, and then he'd snap the right hand. And it was landing for him. And then it's like as the rounds progressed, he stopped doing it. And I kind of found it a little odd. Like, I don't know what, like I said earlier, I always like to think, as a coach, how I would coach the other guy, what I would tell him. And that would have been my main thing, man. Go back to the jab. Go back to boxing him, Go back to using that reach. And it was a little odd for me, man. I feel like, he could have had more success in the fight. I feel like just that jab is the best punch as a taller fighter, and it just seemed like he just automatically abandoned it. And then the seventh round comes by, and he gets a TKO on him. You want to talk about that? Elaborate on it a little bit.
Man, it surprised the heck out of me when it happened, because I didn't even know what happened. I was like,
we all were
like, what happened? And then we had to watch the replay, and then we see the replay. It's like I said a while ago, he snuck in below the titty, and boom, right there. And I was like, oh, so that's what happened.
Dude, I just remember watching the fight. I looked over at Davis for something. I looked over, and we looked back, and I see Ryan, like, backpedaling.
Backpedaling,
jab. And he throws, like, three or four jabs. He's like, 1, 2, 3. And then he just, like, drops down on his knee. And I'm like, what? And we're all like, what happened? Like, it was just a flash, man.
Yep.
And then you see the replay, and then you can see where he really landed that body shot. And for people that don't know, and, like, I've gone on YouTube like that night, and like the next day, I'm reading articles, and a lot of people are saying it's fake and it's staged. Dude, them body shots, like some of them are instant. Some body shots you land, you automatically take a knee, and then you have some body shots that you hit, and it takes a couple of seconds. It's like a delay. Like your body, it takes a minute for it to register. Like
realize that, yeah.
And that's what happened. It took a second to register, and then it finally it took that effect on him. I've seen a lot of people, and it was like a few of them I read on YouTube was like Hispanics like saying you're not a Mexican warrior. And after you took that knee, you waited 10 seconds and then you stood up. Like if you watch the video, he's like 8, 9, 10, and then he stands up, and they're like, nah, man, you should just stay down.
Stay
Like,
down,
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, dude, the body shots are horrible, dude. And I'm gonna circle back around to it. So there was an interview of Gervonta at the gym, and this guy was walking to him like, what's like just talking like the fight, what you're gonna do in the fight. This is before the fight even took place, and he goes, I'm gonna hit that body. He goes, I know that he's not successful in the body shots. And he's like, why do you say that? He goes, I just know. He goes, ask Ryan about it.
Oh.
He goes, ask Ryan about it. And he's like, I asked him about what? He goes, ask him about the body shots. He goes, I know he can't take body shots. Ask him. And he's like, what are you saying that for? He's like, is there somebody in the gym that knows something that told you something? He's like, ask him. And then there's been like a lot of talks of him having a rat in his camp, like in his training camp, and telling him stuff. And now I think about it, when I watch the fight and go back to it, from the very beginning, he's constantly throwing that left hand to the body, and he keeps doing it, and it happens to be the same exact shot he puts him down with. So I mean, that's another variable of why it wasn't going to be Ryan Garcia's night.
But I mean, like you seen like how they say after the fight or whatever, Oscar left him and what's the other boy's name?
Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah, just left him.
So I seen an interview actually last night. I watched the interview, and Oscar De La Hoya said, he's got a lot of death threats and all this stuff. And apparently his boss said, and I quote, we need to get the F out of here. And that's why they left the fight.
Death threats by what?
Yeah, right.
Like
right.
what? What you mean?
So everybody's saying that Oscar De La Hoya is the mole in Ryan Garcia's camp, and that's why he left. And I don't know, man. It's all speculations. I mean, you really never know what's for sure. But I do find it odd that he loses, and this is one of his like prize fighters, one of his favorite like golden goose fighters, and he loses him hanging. So I mean, just what's the odds of that, Like,
and then even Canelo, I seen an interview where they done Canelo. That was like, he said when Canelo was with Oscar or whatever, he was like he was the last one to leave Oscar. He said all Oscar's fighters left. He said, but since he was so humble that he stayed with Oscar, then he realized how the kind of person Oscar was. He just left him and started on his own thing.
Yep.
So I mean, everybody throwing shade at him, even from Canelo and the other fighters that Canelo was over there with Oscar or whatever. So that tells you right there. That pretty much pointing all fingers at you. Like you're the one that told him. You're the one. And then you seen that video I sent you that somebody asked the Lowy or something who you think is gonna win, and he said Tank. Come on now. You don't get me started on that because I've been on him all day today. I'm just Oscar. I can't stand that man. Look, I'm not even gonna get started because you know how I get. you know how I get. You know how I
have
get.
a 30-minute podcast.
Yeah.
So after the fight, they're doing the post conference fights, and everybody's sitting around asking more questions. And Ryan Garcia talked about he wants a rematch at 140. He said that he would like to get a couple more fights under and then run it back and do a rematch at 140. I don't know if he would. The only really big fights right now, and I've talked about it before in the past, like the only fights at 140 is Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor. They're fighting, and then that's really the only ones I can see that'd be like a big fight would be Teofimo Lopez and Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia. That's the only big ones at 140.
What about that guy that I started liking?
It's a Cruz.
Yeah.
He's at the 135.
135. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, he could move up and fight him.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see. I looked at some numbers about it. So Gervonta Davis was guaranteed $5 million and 50% of pay-per-views, and they said he easily got 10 mil.
How much did Ryan get paid?
I'm not sure. I just looked up like the pricing for it, so I don't know what his was. And then of course everybody saw that bet on live or on Twitch or something talking about whoever wins they get the other person's purse.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a man of the word. And Gervonta said, no, he can keep it. He's like, he can keep it.
I would have took it.
Yeah, I mean,
I would have took it.
It is what it is, but I mean, Gervonta's like, no, man, you can keep it. So, got a nice payday for that. And then there was 20,842 fans in attendance, and you could see that like in the fight we're watching. Man, Mark Wahlberg was there, Mike Tyson,
Pacquiao, a bunch of NBA players, football players. Cause did you see where I sent you a video today where they Marty Mart and Julio Cesar Chavez were talking to each other, And I don't know if you understand. Well, you didn't understand because it's Spanish. But Julio Cesar Chavez said, "When you gonna make a movie? When you gonna make a movie about my life?"
Uh,
So I was like, "Oh man, so don't tell me." And then Mark, whatever they had transfer or whatever. And Marty Mark's like, "Yeah, we can do it. We can do it." So I don't know if Marty Mark will play Julio Cesar Chavez.
dude, I mean, I love how many people come out to watch them fight, man. I mean, they sell tickets. They
Yeah,
sell tickets.
yeah.
I want to know. I tried to find it, but I couldn't find it. I wanted to see how much they made off the pay-per-view sales. Like, I don't know if they broke
Records.
any records or anything.
I doubt it because they ain't making a big deal about it.
I wanted to see it because that was. I mean, that is easily the best fight, like the biggest fight of this year.
Thanks.
And then yeah, of this year, yeah.
What
The only
about?
thing I think that would top it would be that fight in December with all the heavyweights in Saudi Arabia, and we'll talk about that in the next podcast. But I think that's gonna be like that was the biggest fight this year thus
What?
far.
What about your boy Caleb and Benavidez?
That was cool, but it wasn't on
They
that.
want to like that, like that?
No, you had two young prime fighters both undefeated before the fight took place.
True.
I mean that's huge, and
Yeah.
plus the build up for that. I mean it was built up to like over the like, years, but Benavidez and Caleb got into it back in like 2018. This been going on way longer.
Way longer than that?
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's been huge, and then like you can see the podcast of Ryan Garcia calling out Gervonta, and Mike Tyson gets his phone out and he FaceTimes Gervonta. And
Really?
he's like, tell him. Say all that stuff you're saying. He's like, I'm gonna beat you up on Mike Tyson's like podcast. Yeah. So I think that's pretty neat.
Man.
So I mean, is there anything you want to say about the fight, and then we'll do what we have to do next?
Man, I really enjoyed it. I'm starting to like watching it more because I used to just like watching, just go at it. Nah, not that bullcrap. This. Now I'm actually seeing it from a
And
different
it's starting to
viewpoint.
kind of
Starting to
understand.
understand it, like why they do that, why they wait till do this.
And
That.
that's what I love about boxing too is that it's never too early to really get into it, but it helps you understand more when you kind of pick a fighter that you kind of gravitate to.
Yes.
Because you sent me some stuff about Izzy Cruz.
Yes.
So you can start watching his videos and start becoming a fan and like looking up, doing your own research on these fighters and just kind of really getting a relationship with them. And then you can kind of follow them along their journey. And they fight, then you feel like your boys fight.
Boy fight, yeah.
That's how I feel about like Caleb,
Devontae.
Devontae, all these fighters that I enjoy watching. I'm like, man, I enjoy watching them. And then you start to follow them on Instagram and watch them day to day.
Like Ruiz.
Ruiz,
yes.
yeah, I
Oh
love
my
I love
goodness.
watching them too. So I
Yes.
mean, you start to kind of want to follow these guys along their journey and be doing it always.
Yes, it's pretty neat. Because then like I used to watch a lot of sports. I used to watch football. I used to watch basketball. Now that I don't have the time to, because the games don't start like NBA games don't start till 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock or whatever. So I don't have time. But now in boxing, I can actually have time because I can go to my office, start on 3, and research. That's where I'll be finding all the videos like I did today.
You can find them.
And find them or
we talked
whatever.
about it
Yeah.
too. It seems like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, they like hear it and they're like,
Man, you notice everything I show you. Hey, what about this fighter? Hey, what about this and that? And you tell me like he fought such and such. Look the highlights of whoop whoop, and I be looking over. That's so that's how I became. That's how I became. Well, I was always a fan of boxing.
But you didn't understand.
I didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm starting to understand it. Now it's pretty neat. I love
I mean, that's awesome, man. I mean, now you're becoming more of a fan of boxing, and you start to appreciate the art more. It's
So-
more than just them fighting. You're
it. So,
appreciating.
one more question I got for you. So the Canelo fight is it in Mexico, right? They got a fight in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that. The tickets only going like some tickets only going for like $19. So we might have to take a trip or
You go fly to Mexico and watch the
yeah,
fight.
yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and do that drawing for the hat. Everybody's been waiting. Everybody's been commenting. Where's the hat? We want to see the hats. Do you want to draw for it?
Okay.
And I'll
You shake it for me, Dad. Let me stop. No more.
There's 37 names in this. 37 minus like 32, but nobody's doing the math.
So I can pick any ticket.
Yeah.
If I don't like it, I'm not gonna open it. If I don't like it, like store it.
Yeah, if you don't like it, we'll just keep drawing until you find one you like.
Hold it up
Okay, keep
so you
shaking.
can't see.
Okay. Put it back. Oh God.
I'm blind anyways. I can't see.
Not that.
Not the high. I'm short.
Go ahead, look.
Not this one.
Oh my God, he's gonna do
Not this one. Okay, this one.
So the one that won, I didn't get a name down. I just had the YouTube thing, but MN54, but I can't remember the name of it.
I don't remember.
But this one is the one that commented and was like,
Yes.
"That's that." And look,
This is the one that we
And
were
she
just
ended up
talking
winning the
about.
hat, so that's pretty neat.
This is
So,
what we were just talking about before the podcast.
yeah, so if you can, I know you've been watching the podcast and commenting, you did win the hat. So let us know which one you want, if you want the flat bill or if you want the curved bill, and we do have black or white. So in order to do that, you can DM us on Instagram on To The Bell Podcast, and then we'll try to figure out how to get your hat. So congratulations, you won us a hat. You get to pick which one you want, and then we'll go from there.
Hey, if you want to sign, by me and him, we do that too. So
Yeah,
Just
we
saying.
did. We didn't have a fan want a autograph hat, for when we do make it big. So
yeah,
that's
okay,
pretty
yeah.
neat. Anything you want to say?
Man, just tell your mama, your daddy, your stepdad, your side dude, everybody, get me out the mud because I'm still trying to get out the
Get him
mud.
out the mud. He got his eye fixed, but he still got the mud.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys. If you like what you saw, if you like what you heard, enjoyed watching us talk and get back and forth about the fights, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. You guys have a great day. Time.